Single father, 2 jobs, 1 impossible battle. Ethan Cole made a choice that night. The wrong choice, or maybe the right one. He still doesn't know. 3 days. That's all he had left before a judge would decide if he deserved to keep his daughter. 3 days before the state could rip Alice from his arms and hand her over to a woman who'd already abandoned her once. 3 days to somehow prove that love mattered more than the zeros in a bank account. But right now, none of that mattered. Right now, he was just trying to get home. After running 2 jobs back to back, 14 hours under car hoods and serving coffee to people who looked right through him, Ethan could barely keep his eyes open. The storm hit hard, rain hammering his windshield like bullets, lightning cracking the sky wide open. He just wanted to see Alice, hold her, remind himself why he was killing himself day after day. Then he saw them. Twin girls, standing in the rain beside a car that cost more than he'd make in 5 years. Stranded, scared, waving for help. He should have kept driving. God knows he had enough problems of his own. But something in their faces, that helpless, desperate look, it reminded him of Alice, of being abandoned when you need someone most. So he stopped. What he didn't know, what he couldn't have known, was that those twin girls had a father, a powerful father, a father who would walk into a courtroom in 72 hours, sit behind a bench, and hold Ethan's entire world in his hands. Sometimes the people you save are the ones who end up saving you. And sometimes, one act of kindness becomes the only thing standing between you and losing everything. Before we continue, let us know in the comments section where in the world you're tuning in from. We love seeing how far our stories reach. And if this story speaks to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ethan pulled over, his tires splashing through puddles as he came to a stop behind the luxury sedan. The rain was relentless, turning the world into a blur of gray and black. He sat there for a moment, engine running, watching the 2 figures huddle together under the slim shelter of their car's open door. "What are you doing, Ethan? You don't have time for this." But he was already unbuckling his seatbelt. He stepped out into the storm, rain immediately soaking through his work shirt. The twin girls looked up as he approached. Identical faces, maybe 19 or 20, dressed in clothes that probably cost more than his rent. Their mascara ran in dark streaks down their cheeks. "Car trouble," Ethan called over the thunder. The one on the left nodded, shivering. "It just died. We've been here for almost an hour. Our phones are dead, and no one stopped." "Until you," the other one added, her voice small and grateful. Ethan glanced at the car. A Mercedes, sleek and black. The kind of vehicle he only saw when wealthy clients brought them into the garage. He walked around to the hood. "Mind if I take a look?" "Please," they said in unison. He popped the hood, rain pouring down his face as he examined the engine. It didn't take long to spot the problem. Corroded battery terminals, loose connection. Simple fix, but not something they could handle out here in the storm. "Your battery's shot," he said, closing the hood. "You're not going anywhere tonight, not without a jump or a tow." The girls exchanged worried glances. "We can call our father," one of them said, but her voice lacked conviction. "He's probably busy, though. He's always busy." Something in the way she said it made Ethan pause. He recognized that tone. Disappointment wrapped in acceptance. "Look," he said, "I can give you a ride. There's a hotel about 15 minutes from here. You can call a tow in the morning." "You'd do that?" The girl on the right asked, genuine surprise in her eyes. Ethan shrugged. Can't leave you out here. Come on. They grabbed their bags and climbed into his beat-up Honda, a car that probably looked like a joke next to their Mercedes. But neither of them complained. They just looked relieved. I'm Sophie, the one in the passenger seat said as Ethan pulled back onto the highway. This is my sister, Maya. Ethan, he replied, focusing on the road. The wipers could barely keep up with the rain. Thank you for stopping, Maya said from the back seat. Really? Most people they see us and they keep going. People are scared these days, Ethan said. Can't blame them. But you stopped, Sophie pointed out. Ethan was quiet for a moment. I have a daughter. She's 6. If she was ever stranded somewhere, scared in the rain, I'd hope someone would stop for her. The car fell silent except for the drumming of rain on the roof. What's her name? Maya asked softly. Alice. That's beautiful, Sophie said. Then, hesitantly, Do you get to see her often? Ethan's jaw tightened. The question hit harder than she could have known. Every chance I get, which might not be for much longer. He hadn't meant to say that. It just slipped out. The weight he'd been carrying finally finding a crack to escape through. What do you mean? Maya asked. Ethan gripped the steering wheel tighter. Her mother and we're divorced. She's trying to take full custody. Says I'm not fit to be a father because I work too much, don't make enough money. We go to court in 3 days. That's horrible, Sophie whispered. It is what it is, Ethan said, though his voice betrayed him. I'm doing everything I can. 2 jobs, saving every penny, showing up to every school event. But sometimes it feels like it's not enough. Like the world's already decided I'm not good enough. Maya leaned forward between the seats. Our father's like that, always working. We barely see him. He has all the money in the world. But we'd trade it all just to have dinner with him once a week, without him checking his phone. He thinks providing means everything, Sophie added quietly. He doesn't understand that we just want him there, present, that's all. Ethan glanced at her. You should tell him that. We've tried, Maya said. He doesn't listen. Says we don't understand what it takes to maintain our lifestyle. Sounds lonely, Ethan said. It is, Sophie admitted. Money doesn't fix loneliness. It just makes it more comfortable. They drove in silence for a while, rain pounding the car, lightning occasionally illuminating the dark highway. Ethan thought about Alice, about the custody hearing, about how he was fighting so hard to keep her while these girls were fighting just to be seen by their father. You seem like a good dad, Maya said eventually. The kind who stops in a storm, the kind who shows up. Ethan's throat tightened. I'm trying to be. That's more than most people do, Sophie said. He pulled into the hotel parking lot 20 minutes later. The girls gathered their things, and Sophie turned to him before getting out. Thank you, Ethan. Really. You didn't have to help us, but you did. She paused. I hope the judge sees what we see, that you're exactly the kind of father your daughter needs. Me too, Ethan said quietly. They disappeared into the hotel lobby, and Ethan sat there for a moment, rain still hammering his windshield. 3 days. He had 3 days to prepare for the fight of his life. He drove home through the storm, his mind racing. When he finally pulled into his apartment complex, it was past midnight. He climbed the stairs to his second-floor unit, exhausted down to his bones. Inside, Alice was asleep on the couch, a blanket pulled up to her chin. Mrs. Rachel from next door sat in the armchair, reading a magazine. She tried to wait up for you, Mrs. Rachel whispered, standing. But she couldn't make it. Thank you for watching her, Ethan said, pulling out the $20 he'd set aside for her. It was money he couldn't afford to spend, but he had no choice. Mrs. Rachel waved it away. Keep it. You need it more than I do. After she left, Ethan knelt beside the couch, brushing Alice's hair from her face. She stirred, eyes fluttering open. Daddy? Hey, sweetheart. I'm home. I missed you, she mumbled, still half asleep. I missed you too, baby. He kissed her forehead. Go back to sleep. But she sat up instead, rubbing her eyes. Daddy, are we going to be okay? The question gutted him. She was 6 years old. She shouldn't have to worry about things like this. We're going to be fine, he lied, pulling her into a hug. Mommy says I might have to live with her, that you can't take care of me. Her voice was so small, so scared. Ethan held her tighter. Your mommy's wrong, Alice. I can take care of you. I will take care of you. No matter what happens in that courtroom, I'm your dad, and I love you more than anything in this world. I don't want to leave you, she whispered into his shoulder. You won't. I promise. It was a promise he had no idea if he could keep. But as he held his daughter in his small, shabby apartment, rain still pounding against the windows, Ethan Cole made a vow to himself. He would fight with everything he had. For her. Always for her. 3 days until the courtroom. 3 days until his entire world would be decided by a stranger in a black robe. 3 days until he'd face Judge Benjamin Whitmore. He just didn't know it yet. The courthouse smelled like old wood and anxiety. Ethan sat at the defendant's table, his hands clasped so tightly his knuckles had gone white. His public defender, Mr. Clark, shuffled through papers beside him, occasionally muttering to himself. The man was doing his best. But Ethan could see it in his eyes. They both knew this wasn't going to be easy. Across the aisle, Lena sat perfectly composed in a navy dress that probably cost more than Ethan made in a month. Her lawyer, a sharp-suited man named Davison, looked like he ate cases like this for breakfast. Lena didn't even glance at Ethan. She hadn't looked at him once since they'd entered the courtroom. All rise, the bailiff announced. The Honorable Judge Benjamin Whitmore presiding. Ethan stood, his legs feeling like they might give out. This was it, the moment that would determine everything. He watched the door behind the bench, waiting for the judge who would decide if he was worthy of being called a father. The door opened, and Ethan's heart stopped. Judge Benjamin Whitmore walked in, tall, distinguished, late 50s, with silver hair and sharp eyes that swept across the courtroom. Ethan recognized him instantly, not from seeing him before, but from the resemblance, those eyes, that strong jawline. He'd seen those features just 3 nights ago, in the rain, on 2 young women who'd been stranded on the highway, Sophie and Maya. No, this couldn't be happening. The judge took his seat, adjusting his glasses as he opened the case file. His eyes scanned the first page, and Ethan saw it. The slightest pause. The judge's gaze flicked up, landing directly on him. Recognition passed between them, silent and electric. Good morning, Judge Whitmore said, his voice steady and authoritative. We're here today for the custody hearing of Alice Marie Cole. Counselors, are both parties ready to proceed? Yes, Your Honor, Davison said smoothly. Ready, Your Honor, Mr. Clark added, though his voice lacked the same confidence. The judge nodded, but Ethan could see something working behind his eyes. A calculation, a decision being made in real time. Before we begin, Judge Whitmore said slowly. "I'd like to call for a brief recess. 15 minutes. We'll reconvene shortly." The bailiff looked confused, but nodded. "All rise." Everyone stood as the judge exited through the back door. Lena's lawyer leaned over to whisper something to her, probably just as confused as everyone else. Mr. Clark turned to Ethan. "That's unusual," he said. "Did something happen?" Ethan couldn't speak. His mind was racing, trying to process what this meant. The judge was their father, the twins' father, the man he'd helped 3 nights ago. And now that man held Alice's future in his hands. Was this good? Bad? Would the judge recuse himself? Would he hold it against Ethan somehow? 10 minutes crawled by like hours. Then the bailiff approached Ethan's table. "Mr. Cole, the judge would like to see you in his chambers." Lena's head snapped up. "Excuse me? On what grounds?" "Just Mr. Cole," the bailiff repeated firmly. Davison stood. "Your Honor, this is highly irregular. We object to any private conversation." "The judge didn't ask for your opinion, counselor," the bailiff said. "Mr. Cole, please follow me." Ethan's legs felt like jelly as he stood. Mr. Clark grabbed his arm. "Whatever he asks you, be honest. Don't try to be clever, just honest." Ethan nodded and followed the bailiff through a side door, down a narrow hallway, and into a wood-paneled office. Judge Whitmore stood by the window, hands clasped behind his back, looking out at the city below. "Sit down, Mr. Cole," he said without turning around. Ethan sat in one of the leather chairs facing the desk. His heart hammered so hard he thought it might burst through his chest. The judge finally turned, and his expression was unreadable. He walked to his desk and sat down, folding his hands on the surface. "3 nights ago," he began, "my daughters called me from a hotel. They were stranded on Highway 89 in a terrible storm. Their car had broken down, and they'd been there for over an hour in the rain. No one stopped, no one helped." He paused. "Until you did." Ethan's mouth was dry. I didn't know who they were, Your Honor." "I know you didn't. That's exactly my point." The judge leaned back in his chair. "They told me about you, about your kindness, about how you had every reason to keep driving. You were exhausted, you had your own problems.